This is my favorite punch. Call it a walking punch. I don't know if you would consider it a jab or a cross. You're punching with your lead hand, simultaneously walking forward, converting it into a cross. This movement flows naturally off of your body weight shifting exercises from the first lesson. Practice it from standing and from your basic 4-directional footwork and circling left and right footwork drills. This punch is tremendously powerful, covers a great deal of distance, and best of all, it's unconventional. I think in traditional martial arts styles such as karate, this is a basic body mechanic, but for some reason in the West, this punch is almost never taught. It can also be done from a static stance with no preparatory motion, kind of like a karate punch. This movement follows completely organically from a natural walk. There's a forward momentum to this movement, and there's an intimidation to it. Imagine somebody walking you down with this. It almost goes without saying that you can cycle this movement left and right very easily. I sometimes work on this movement just walking on the treadmill. The next technique I want to show you is a cross with a follow-through step. Classically, this is considered a mistake, but this punch is much stronger than a conventional cross. In order to throw with maximum power, it's necessary to fully commit your weight. This is the intuitive way to punch with full power. It's similar to a baseball pitch. This move is similar to the walking punch in that you end in the opposite stance you started from. But it's also similar to the power jab from lesson 1 in that your body weight commitment forces you to take a follow-up step. Now, combining the last two movements, a follow-through cross followed by a walking punch. This movement covers so much distance I had difficulty staying inside the frame. Here's a pearl of wisdom. Trust observation and intuition above instruction. Following your teacher dogmatically can halt your progress for years. Conversely, thinking things through yourself immediately puts you ahead of 90% of your peers or more. All of these moves I learned through observation. The walking punch is something Tyron Woodley did often. There's a funny story behind the follow-through cross. My brother was at a bar with a punching machine. After he hit it, the female bartender came and beat his score. I observed her technique and showed my brother how she did it, and he immediately beat her score. I did not participate because my brother is a lot bigger than me and I didn't want to get mocked publicly. I could still kick his ass though. After that, I began to notice this technique being used all the time in the UFC. My favorite boxer, George Foreman, used this style of movement all the time. This casual knockout of Gary Cooney with a walking uppercut is one of my favorite knockouts ever. The last move for today, how to combine the walking punch with the shuffle punch from lesson 1. You will notice after throwing a walking punch, your body weight is on your lead leg with your head aligned with your front knee, same as the starting position for the power jab or the leaping jab. Actually, let's just go with shuffle jab. I'm officially changing the name. It also works for a hook or an uppercut. You're beginning to notice now that this is a system of moves that work together. It's a whole pattern of body movement, not disconnected techniques. Obviously, you can throw the shuffle jab after 1 walking punch or 2 walking punches, as shown here. I talk a lot about closing distance. I taught myself these movements to compensate for my poor speed and explosivity. If you are able to explode, it will be impossible to outrun you while going backwards if you use these techniques. Work on combining all three of these moves together. Basically, this movement pattern boils down to two kinds of footwork, shuffling footwork and walking footwork. It's much faster, less energy consuming, and more organic than the boxy robotic footwork you probably learned on your first boxing lesson. Try this out and go run someone over with it.